Welcome to this video journey through the life of Pablo Picasso, the 20th century's most revolutionary artist. We will explore the man who shattered conventions and redefined visual language, leaving an indelible mark on art and culture that still resonates powerfully today. This show is brought to you by Series of Thoughts as part of their Art and Culture series.
We begin with Chapter 1, the early years and artistic foundations. Before becoming the titan of modern art, Picasso was a prodigious child in Spain, absorbing classical techniques while nurturing an instinct for rebellion that would transform the art world. Pablo Ruiz Picasso was born in Málaga in 1881. His father was an art teacher who recognized his son's genius early on. By age 13, Picasso completed Science and Charity, a work so accomplished it earned him admission to Barcelona's School of Fine Arts. His early training provided the classical foundations he would later deconstruct. Picasso's artistic awakening occurred between Barcelona and Paris. In Barcelona, he engaged with progressive art movements. His first Paris visit in 1900 exposed him to the international avant-garde. By 1904, settling permanently in Montmartre, he joined the intellectual circles that would witness his transformation. His Blue period, from 1901 to 1904, explored poverty and isolation using a somber, monochromatic blue palette. This shifted to the Rose period, 1905 to 1907, featuring circus life and performers in warmer pinks and oranges. These periods established color as a tool for psychological narrative. The old guitarist, created during the Blue period, epitomizes Picasso's early genius. The hunched figure, rendered in haunting blues, represents human vulnerability. Its monochromatic intensity forces viewers to confront suffering, making it one of the period's most emotionally powerful works. Chapter 2 covers the birth of Cubism and radical innovation. Picasso was about to demolish centuries of artistic convention and rebuild visual language using fractured geometric pieces. The African period, from 1906 to 1909, began when Picasso encountered African masks and Iberian sculpture. Their angular geometry offered a radical alternative to European naturalism. This cultural borrowing inspired his radical abstraction, though it later sparked important ethical debates about appropriation. Les Demoiselles d'Avignon in 1907 was the single most revolutionary painting of the 20th century. It shattered perspective, presenting figures from multiple viewpoints and using African mask-inspired forms. The work was initially met with horror, but became the birth certificate of Cubism. From 1907 to 1914, Picasso and Georges Braque invented Cubism, a new visual language. Analytical Cubism fractured objects into geometric facets. Synthetic Cubism introduced collage elements like newspaper and fabric, constructing a flatter reality. This globally influenced perception and representation. Les Demoiselles d'Avignon is a radical proto-cubist masterpiece. Its fractured faces and aggressive geometry shock viewers, declaring that reality is not what we see, but how we perceive, interpret, and reconstruct the world through vision and thought. Picasso's innovations extended beyond painting. He invented constructed sculpture using materials like sheet metal, exemplified by his 1912 guitar. He also pioneered collage, gluing found materials onto canvas, which questioned the boundary between art and life. Chapter 3 explores Picasso's political voice and mature style. For Picasso, art was not just aesthetics. It became a powerful weapon that could strike as powerfully as any political manifesto. Guernica, created in 1937, was Picasso's monumental response to the bombing of the Basque town during the Spanish Civil War. Its massive scale and black, white, and gray palette transformed horror into visual testimony. This work became the 20th century's most powerful anti-war statement, showing that art could mobilize conscience. Picasso stated, "Painting is not done to decorate apartments. It is an instrument of war against brutality and darkness." This quote clarifies his mature philosophy: art as active resistance. Guernica's refusal to return to Spain until democracy was restored proves art was intervention, witness, and weapon combined. Picasso never stopped evolving. The 1920s and 30s saw surrealist experimentation with biomorphic forms. During World War II, he created politically charged works. His prolific final years, until his death in 1973, produced thousands of playful and introspective paintings, prints, and ceramics. This detail from Guernica captures central agony, a mother's grief holding her dead child. The fractured Cubist vocabulary amplifies the horror, showing trauma's shattering effect on reality. Picasso's formal innovation served a moral purpose, expressing a world broken by violence. Chapter 4 addresses Picasso's cultural influence and legacy. His impact requires recognizing how thoroughly he transformed culture itself, moving beyond individual masterpieces. Picasso was a prolific genius, creating over 50,000 total artworks across 75 years, including nearly 1,900 paintings and 12,000 prints. This staggering productivity established the artist as a perpetual creator, proving that mastery meant fearless exploration across all media. His influence shaped numerous modern art movements. He co-founded Cubism, influenced Surrealism and abstract expressionism, and pioneered assemblage. His work questioned representation, opening doors for conceptual art practices worldwide. Picasso's engagement with African art presents a controversy. He found liberation in these forms but borrowed them without full spiritual context, operating within colonial-era frameworks. We must acknowledge his genius while critically engaging with the problematic power dynamics of appropriation. Picasso's relationships with women were complex, often marked by emotional cruelty and control. While women inspired some of his greatest works, many partners described manipulation and psychological abuse. Contemporary audiences must acknowledge brilliance while refusing to romanticize harmful behavior. The portrait of Dora Maar captures beauty and brutality. As his lover during the Guernica years, her image was fractured by Cubism, suggesting psychological depth and pain. The Weeping Woman series, inspired by Maar, shows how Picasso's formal innovations carried disturbing emotional content. Picasso's impact endures across diverse fields. Cubist principles influenced architecture and contemporary design. Filmmakers adopted Cubist montage and fractured narrative. Guernica established the template for political art that serves justice while retaining aesthetic power. The name Picasso is global shorthand for genius and creative rebellion. His life is explored in countless films, literature, and biographies. Global exhibitions regularly break attendance records, proving his work's undiminished capacity to fascinate and challenge audiences. Picasso remains one of the most collected and commercially successful artists, with work selling for record auction prices like Les Femmes d'Alger at $179 million. While the astronomical prices confirm his importance, they also risk reducing masterpieces to investment vehicles, raising questions about cultural access. Picasso's life offers key lessons. Embrace evolution as he constantly experimented. Understand that art reflects reality, as seen in Guernica's protest, and engage critically, celebrating genius while acknowledging problematic behavior and complexities. Picasso's studios were laboratories for visual revolution. They were battlegrounds where centuries of artistic convention were dismantled. The relentless productivity and creative chaos in these spaces generated the clarity that changed civilization. Chapter 5 is the conclusion, Picasso's timeless revolution. From child prodigy to global icon, Picasso's journey maps the transformation of art itself in the modern age. Picasso changed art forever, shattering Renaissance perspective, inventing Cubism, and proving art could be a political weapon. His innovations still shape contemporary culture. His legacy is a mirror reflecting the 20th century's brilliance and contradictions, demanding critical engagement with genius and its complexities.